Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about the beef between Michael Franzese and Joey Merlino. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they. And I appreciate all of you that take the time to watch this show. This one's going to be pretty entertaining. Let me give some shout outs before we get started. Joey Blunts, what's going on? Raven, how are you? Is Michael Franzese a rat too? Yes, he is. Why, yes. Yes, he is. He's been a rat since since before I can remember. So there's been some developments in this whole drama. And I'm about to show you what they are. A lot of people are talking about the whole Norby Walters thing. Norby Walters passed away yesterday, or it could have been the day before. But I was the first one to break it. So Norby Walters has passed away. This is Norby Walters. Thanks to Orie Spado for the information. I appreciate you. Go check out Orie's show. It's Stories with Orie. Go check him out. Franzese. Yes, he is. Yas, how are you, Kev? What's going on? The Reality Report with Craig Diatto. Go check him out. He's got a good show. Go check out Tommy Stig's Social Club. Pasqua, how you doing? What's going on, my friend? So let's get down to business. Let's see what Michael Franzese was saying about Merlino.
What you want with this, Joey. Do whatever you want. You know what? I don't like to make, and I don't try to make enemies, and I'm not going to consider you my enemy. You can consider me whatever you want. But I'm going to answer to this the first time I ever responded to anything like this, because you don't go off and say things about my father that are absolutely untrue. And once again, I'll say it and I'll leave it with this. You couldn't shine my father's shoes on his worst day.
But he could. If you had a shine box, he probably could, Michael. So, if you guys don't know, Michael Franzese is a master marketer, if you could say. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to word things. But so what he did, if you guys aren't catching it, he took what Joey Merlino said out of context, and he's running with it. He's saying that Joey said that Sonny is a rat. Joey never said Sonny was a rat. And for you guys' information, Sonny never did 50 years in prison and all this shit. He was sentenced to like 50 years in prison. He did about 20-something years. He was in and out on parole. He kept violating his parole. And people keep saying he did 50 years in prison. He did not do 50 years in prison. He was sentenced to 50 years, but he did not do 50 years. Now let's see what Michael, the manipulator, got to say. And if you guys don't know, the video in the background is Michael Franzese testifying. Yes? Yes, it is. Let me just fast forward through this little bullshit song he's got going.
Well, all is very good, very blessed on this end. As always, I give God all the praise, honor, glory, and thanksgiving for that. And
if you guys don't know, it's a sin to project your religious beliefs, to push it on the world. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know it's a sin to pray in front of people and make it like, look at me, look at me? That's what he does. That's what a lot of these people do. Why do you have to explain to everyone? Why? Can't you just say I'm a Christian and keep it moving? I'm religious. I'm very religious. I go to church every single week, the same church, the same time. But I don't got to tell anybody. People that do that type of shit, there's a reason behind it. But let's get back to it. Mr. Christian himself.
Friends, this is something a little out of the ordinary for me. I never do this, and most of you that follow me know that I never do this, but I
Got him.
felt that this was very appropriate. And something happened this morning that troubled me. And how did I find out about it? Well, by all of my supporters, many of you who contacted me to let me know about this. And so I investigated it. I did a little research because of what you told me, and I want to respond to it. And people, you know this, especially my followers who are so supportive, tell me, Michael, you know, don't ever respond to any of this nonsense. And I don't. This is social media. By getting on this platform, you open yourself up to all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of things that go on. A lot of people talk.
Big Boy Blue said my MC holds church. That's kind of being religious, I guess, right? Corey, what's going on? Kev, what's going on? Fireworks. Palak, what's up, man? The Reality Report. We got James Simpson. Tommy Sticks, Social Club. What's going on, man? Ivan, how are you? Yeah, Sonny was a real man, but did he agree with what his son did? Absolutely not. He despised rats, and sausage lips stinks. Oh shit. Sausage lips. Ships sink ships. Sausage lips sink ships. That's a tongue twister.
A lot of it is not true. A lot of it is exaggerated. A lot of it is made up. I just let it go.
And he plays the clip from Joey Merlino. So you're going to see exactly like I said. He's taking Joey Merlino's words and taking them out of context. He is good at this. He's good at social media, marketing. He's great at it. He's probably one of the best. But for the people that are paying attention, he ain't that good.
Not important. And I've been able to build this platform because of all of you and all of my supporters. But I appreciate those of you who contacted me this morning about this, because kind of draw the line when they come after my family and they say things that are just absolutely not true. So let me tell you what happened. Joey Merlino, who a couple of months ago, whatever it might have been, decided to join the YouTube platform. When I heard about it, I spent 2-3 minutes and welcomed him aboard the platform and, you know, said something nice about it. I don't recall exactly what it was, but basically welcomed him aboard the platform.
From a rat. So he welcomed him aboard the platform coming from a rat, because Michael Franzese is 100% a rat. You can see him testifying in the video right there. That's him testifying in front of Congress. Now, if your idea of a cooperator is skewed, let me give you some context. The minute any of these guys go in front of Congress, the police, anybody, and start talking, they're cooperators. And that's people that are active in that life. Joey is not active in that life. And now they want to try to switch things around. But take a look.
It's come to my attention today that a young man by the name of Justin sent a direct message, I believe, to Joey Merlino, and Joey took it upon himself to read it during his podcast recently. I think it was in the last day or so. And basically what this young man said was that he was my attorney and that, he thought it would be nice if Joey and I were to get together and he would come on my podcast for an interview. Now, let me make this clear. I haven't spoken to this young man for at least a year. I haven't communicated with him by text, email, social media, in any other way. He used to work for my wine company in Michigan, and that ended about 5 months ago.
So he's going around parading as your lawyer. Is that what you're saying, Michael? Yes, that's what you just said. You say that this guy is going around, he worked for you in the past, and now he's going around pretending to be your lawyer. Now, whoever sent you that message It's a douchebag.
Nice young man, thought he was doing a nice thing. And look, you know, people in that life understand. You try to get in somebody's good graces. Maybe, hey, Michael, you know what? I got in touch with Molino. He wants to come on your platform, whatever. He thought he was doing a nice thing.
Pretending to be your lawyer. Yeah, that's a nice thing. I wonder what else he does pretending to be for you when he's out in public. Probably a lot more than pretending to be your lawyer. But we'll get to that another day.
He's not my attorney. Joey,
Huh? He's not your attorney? Well, he said he was.
for some reason, read this, thought it was appropriate to read this, and said that he was my attorney representing me. And in there, he said that it would be nice if he came onto my platform. Obviously, this young man was mistaken because he thought he was sending this to somebody with class.
Listen, just because he read the message doesn't mean he doesn't have class. It means you're a rat and you got exposed and you're fucking pissed about it. Pope, how are you? Thanks for joining me this afternoon. Mike, how are you?
Obviously, that's not the case. Now, Joey took it upon himself to call me a rat, which is okay. I've heard.
It's true, Michael. It's true. You are a rat. In the back video, you're testifying in front of Congress. So what does that make you? A not rat? A not a rat? Today's my birthday. I was out last night. Salvatore, happy birthday, man. How old are you today? Rest in peace to Norby Walters. Michael testified against Norby Walters. Norby Walters passed away yesterday.
All of that. I've explained there's nothing more to talk about that. Call me whatever you want in that regard. But then he went on to talk about my father. And what he said about my father is this. He said, for Sonny Franzese to associate with his son, because he said that I paid my father's bail, I picked him up when he came out of prison, that my father, Sonny Franzese, must be a rat also.
He did not say, now, let me make the record clear. He did not say that. He's going to play the video right now, and you're going to see what he said and how Michael is taking the shit out of context to make himself look like he's the good guy. Clearly he's not. Michael's a master manipulator.
I'll tell you this, Mr. Molino, you couldn't shine my father's shoes on his worst day.
And you couldn't on your best day.
My father was one of the most stand-up guys ever in that life.
And if that was true, he would have killed you when you cooperated, Michael. He would have killed you. Just like you said, he used to put bodies in a kiddie pool, right? He used to dissolve bodies in a kiddie pool. You're the one that said that. You're the one that told reporters that. So now you're going around trying to make your dad this great guy. But you're the one that said he dissolved bodies in a kiddie pool. And he told you how to do it. And you insinuate that you're a killer in the mafia. You're not a killer. You never were.
Everybody knows it, even every one of your associates, and you know it also. So what you said was so totally out of line. And you know what? You would never in a million years say that to my father's face. Of course we know that. I don't think you'd say it to my face.
But I would. I'd say it to your face, Michael.
And if you want to, just let me know. I'm here, not going anywhere.
Okay. The challenge is on, Michael. Why don't you come and join me on one of these streams and let's have a little chat. And we'll see if I'll say it to your face or if I'll explain exactly what you did. And I know some things about you that other people might not know. So whenever you're available, just let me know. We'll arrange it. I can meet you in New York City. I could go to LA if you want. And we can put a show on for the people because that's what you like to do, right? Master manipulator.
To call my father a rat, my father associated with me because maybe he knows more about my situation than you do. Maybe the Colombo brass, the people that mattered, know a little bit more about what I did or what I didn't do than you do.
They would have killed you, Michael, if they knew what you did. So what you're saying is that the Colombo brass agreed with you cooperating, and that your father agreed with it too. Is that what you're saying, Mike? I don't believe you. And it's just crazy. He tries to spin the situation. You're a cooperator, bottom line. They didn't want anything to do with you. Back in the day, they probably put a contract on your life once you cooperated. Your father dealt with you because he had to, because you're his son. That's the only reason why your father dealt with you.
I feel it appropriate just to shoot your mouth off and call people names. Like what you say about me, I could care less. You don't mean anything to me.
But it seems like it's bothering you.
But what you said about my father? Who are you kidding? My father, again, was the most stand-up guy in that life. Took 50 years on the chin and never opened his mouth about anything, and everybody knows that. So who are you to say something like that?
He did not do 50 years. He took 50 years. He was sentenced to 50 years. He didn't do 50 years in prison like everyone's saying. His father was a stand-up guy, but he raised a rat son. 2 of them. And you're his stepson, Michael. You're not in his blood. So he raised a rat. 2 of them.
And let me tell you something. If my father had something to say to you, he wouldn't be saying it to a bunch of people on social media. He would say it directly to your face, as I would. Absolutely. So I don't know where you're coming from. And like I said, I don't know this young man, and he sent you a following DM. Why don't you read that? Read that. And let me tell you something also. Don't flatter yourself, my friend. I don't need you on social media. Maybe you haven't been paying attention to what's going on. I don't need you. I wished you luck when you came on board. I didn't realize you were a classless guy. I thought you were a guy with class.
Persico took a hit on him. He just said that the Colombo brass all agreed with what he did. He just said that. She said the Colombo brass agreed with, because they knew more about his situation than other people did. That's what he just said. We got a lot of comments. Hell yeah, he's triggered a little bit, huh?
And let me ask you this. If you
Primo, what's up, man? Drumcula, how are you?
You still are involved, and I have no idea, nor do I care. What are you doing on social media? You wouldn't see my father on social media. You wouldn't see me on social media if I was still part of that life.
But you're a cooperator, Michael. You're a rat. Why don't you just admit what you are? Admit you cooperated and stamp yourself with the rat approval. That's why you're on social media.
What are you doing on social media?
I'm going to show you guys something right after we're done with this. It's going to show you the true flip-floppery that this guy does.
Answer me that. Never do I ever respond to any of this stuff, because obviously, too, there are other people, that immediately picked up on what you said this morning, and, Joey Molino smacked me down and all of that. You're not smacking me down when you're talking on social media, Joey. You know that, and I know that. And let me tell you about Sammy Gravano. He's my friend, like it or not. I'm not interested in what he did before. I like Sammy now, I like his family, and I don't care who knows it or who disagrees with it.
Because you're a rat, that's why. You guys are one and the same. You and Sammy, fucking great people, right? Let's check this out.
It wouldn't have lasted too long, Bad. Let me tell you, because I guarantee he'd either run out the door or I would have made him look so foolish. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. But again, guys want to be relevant, so they mention the names of people. How many guys mention John Gotti's name? Because they want to be relevant. If they don't mention John Gotti's name, who's going to pay attention to them? I like John. I mean, we got along. He was difficult to do business with, I got to be honest. But on a social level, great. You know, I had a lot of fun. We go out to a club. You know, he was a lot of fun to be around, and you know, I respected John a lot. I mean, he was. You know, he was a guy that commanded respect. He was different in a way, but, you know, I like him. I like his family. You know, I'm friendly with them, so. And let me tell you about Sammy Gravano. He's my friend, like it or not. I'm not interested in what he did before. I like Sammy now. I like his family. And I don't care who knows it or who disagrees with it. That's.
Well, what about the Gottis? Do they agree with you being best friends with Sammy Gravano? Because if they do, that's pretty weird.
That's how I feel. Whatever happened before, happened before. None of my business. Didn't involve me, and that's it.
What do you guys think of that? So he's talking about people bringing up Gotti's name, and there he brings up Gotti's name. Says he's friendly with the family. And then he says he's friendly with Sammy Gravano, and he doesn't give a shit. Who cares? So my question is, how does John Gotti's family feel about Michael the Rat Franzese? Now we're gonna get. Hold on, let's play the rest of this one, and then we'll get to the next one.
That's how I feel. Whatever happened before, happened before. None of my business. Didn't involve me, and that's it. I don't appreciate the fact that guys get on social
What up,
media
Joey?
and
How you
start
doing?
talking about everybody, you know, and other people just can't wait to bring other people down. They jump on it like it's oxygen. It's unbelievable. It really is. And you know what? It's quite pathetic, because if you got nothing good to say about yourself, if you can't bring yourself up and make something out of this platform on your own merit, you probably even shouldn't be on here. If you got to use other people to make yourself important, shouldn't be on here.
You use your father to make yourself important on every episode. You use other people that didn't cooperate to tell your stories on YouTube. Now, can you come up here and just tell your story without those people? Probably not. Can you make yourself relevant without your father's influence? Probably not. In that life or out of that life, you weren't making it without your father. Oh, wait, your stepfather. You weren't making it without your stepfather, Michael. When you cooperated, he didn't agree with you.
Come on here and talk about other people negatively, because
What? Did you hear what he just said? No, let's check this out.
Last interview, Orie Spado came on my show
yes,
and said some harsh words about you.
I sort of feel sorry for Michael, I gotta be honest with you. And I'll tell you why.
Go subscribe to Stories with Orie. Shout out to Orie Spado. Great guy.
He's living a life that's not his own life. He should wake up, face who he really is. I mean,
Cindy,
he
how are
proclaims
you?
to be
James,
a
what's up?
born-again Christian, correct?
Right.
Kelly, how are you? Salvatore. David, what's up, man? Feel sorry for Sonny. Perhaps I'm wrong. Do so, but his kids knew their dad's code of honor. Their dad? You mean their stepdad? That wasn't his real kid. Sonny and Michael Franzese are not related. Did you guys know that?
Well, then that means he reads the Bible.
Right.
Now, look, I don't go to church. I was born a Catholic. I'll die a Catholic. I go to church when there's nobody there. Once every couple months, maybe. So I could have a talk with the guy one-on-one.
Michael didn't even go to his father's funeral because he thought he was going to get killed. And he probably was going to get killed if he went there. So, I mean, he says a lot of untruths. But we're going to correct him today.
I don't know a damn thing about a Catholic religion. I don't know nothing about any religion. But I do know certain things. And I think it's Exodus 20:16 in the Bible. If you're going out preaching it, then you should live it. And I feel that's what Michael should do.
You don't think he's living a godly
He's living
life?
his father's life. He's very jealous of his father. He hasn't seen Sonny in a year. He proclaims he's there all the time. He claims I use his fucking name. You think I'm going to use a rat's name? And you show me anybody that calls somebody else a rat, they're the rat.
Right, because he said that he felt that you actually...
Bullshit. Show me a 5K1. Show me a proffer statement. Show me a reverse proffer statement. You won't find one in my entire fucking lifetime. And not a person has been investigated, arrested, or anything because of Orie Spado. I could look in the mirror. I could put my head on the pillow and I go to sleep. But what about Michael Franzese? You want to talk about who he ratted? Huh? I got a piece of paper here. I got a fucking list of shit about him that I know. I know he's got $50 million in Panama, or at least that's where it originally was. You want to know who put it there? I know the lawyer. I'm not going to tell you his name. All right? His initials, RP. Oh, I know.
When you saw that interview, what'd you think?
Well, I didn't see the whole interview, Vlad. I don't watch all of these things, but obviously, you know, I have a lot of followers on social media, and immediately they say, hey, Mike, this guy's talking about you, and so on and so forth. That's how I hear things, you know, because I don't watch all the interviews. As a matter of fact, Patrick Bet-David, you know, Valuetainment, called me when he was doing the Sammy the Bull interview. And he said, Mike, you know, did you see the interview? And honestly, I didn't watch it. I watched a little of it because he asked me to watch it. And I kind of corrected him in a few spots on that interview. But anyway, listen, I'm going to tell you about Orie. I met Orie one time. I don't like Orie. I'm going to tell you a story about Orie. Jack Gilardi, who was a big agent for ICM, very dear friend of mine. You know, he's kind of a legend in the business. He passed away not too long ago. But he calls me up one day and he says to me, Mike, there's some guy by the name of Orie Spado is up here and he's kind of threatening me and he's using your name and your father's name. He said, you know, what am I supposed to do? I said, let me tell you what to do. The next time he comes into your office, Jack, pick up a chair and hit him over the head and throw him the heck out. He's a nobody. He doesn't belong with anybody here. Don't listen to anything he has to say. There's nothing he's going to do to you or for you. Get him out. Well, Jack's not the type of guy to hit somebody with a chair, but that was what I told him about Orie. Let me tell you this. If Orie was around my father as much as he said he was, I must have been a ghost because I never seen him. I never heard of him until I came out to California and my brother started hanging out with him.
Michael is a rat. Do you want to hear true life Orie stories? He's a total fraud, con artist. You think so? Drum, whatever the fuck your name is. Yeah, you're wrong.
And I know they were doing some drug stuff together, so I chased Orie. That's number one. Secondly, I had somebody in the FBI who came to me and told me...
Wait, what? What did you just say, Michael? You had someone in the FBI? Hold on.
His name, he said, you know, what am I supposed to do? I said, let me tell you what to do. Get him out. Well, Jack's not the type of guy to hit somebody. He was around my father as much as he said he was. I must have been a ghost because I never seen him. I never heard of him until I came out to California and my brother started hanging out with him. And I know they were doing some drug stuff together, so I chased Orie. That's number one. Secondly, I had somebody in the FBI who came to me and told me, don't go near this guy, Orie, because he plays both sides of the street. He's an informant. And it came out later that he was. I know the agent that he was talking to. As a matter of fact, it's on YouTube, that he had a whole discussion with an agent. So, I mean, you know, Vlad, I got to tell you this. A lot of guys, this has been happening all my life. Quick story so that you know.
Quick story so you know. You chased Orie. Yeah, right. It never happened. Let's not forget that Michael said about Sammy on the Mike Tyson podcast. What did he say about Sammy on that one? What happened, drum capella? Cat got your fucking tongue?
I'm 20 years old, 21, 22 maybe, I don't know exactly. I'm in the San Suzanne. It was a club out in Long Island. My father was associated with that club. He had a silent interest in it, right? My father had been in jail. I'm in the place with a couple of guys. the owner comes over to me and says, Mike, there's a guy at the bar and he's bothering this woman there and he don't want to leave. He said, maybe you can talk to him. And I'm a young guy. So I go and see him and I said, look, this young lady, she doesn't want to be bothered. Why don't you just leave her alone and have a drink? Otherwise I'm going to ask you to leave.
Let's hear his bullshit story. And then I'm going to explain something to you right after this. Shout out to Loomis. Go check out Loomis's show. It's called The Hard Truth. Go check it out.
He looked at me and he said, do you know who I am? Now you got to understand, I hate that line. I hate that line. You know who I am? I said, no, who are you? Tell me.
You say it all the time. Do you know who I am? I'm Sonny's stepson. You're not even his real son. You're a stepson.
Who you are. He said, do you know Sonny Franzese? I said, yeah, I know him. He said, Sonny's in prison. I make one phone call to his son, Michael, and he'll be down here in a minute, and you'll treat me a little differently. The point being, now, it didn't end nicely for him, I got to tell you that, but the point being.
How did it end, Michael? You can't tell us how it ended? That's what you said? That's it? He said, I'll make one call, and his son Michael will come down here, and then what? You just stop telling us the story? Is that how it goes? That's how you know he's full of shit.
That people have been using mine and my father's name, mostly my father's, my whole life. There's guys on the internet now that are talking about my dad because that gives them relevance, because what else do they got to talk about? So they associate themselves with my father. There's guys online now that are saying things about me. I know why, because they're getting more views. They mention my name and all of a sudden they get views. So a lot of these guys, Vlad, believe me, they're just wannabes. They never were. And what can I tell you? And I want to make this clear too. Okay, all these guys that talk, when we took that oath and we were made, that was very serious to us.
But you broke that oath, right? So why'd you break it? If it was that serious to you, why did you break it? Now, let me explain something to you guys. Sonny didn't want anything to do with reporters, paparazzi, people talking. He was a gangster. He was the real deal gangster. Michael comes around, his father. Look at his jacket. A mob story. Michael tried to exploit his father and make money off it. He wanted to use his father's story to make money. And his father kept denying it. I'm not with this shit. Leave me alone with the bullshit. And he ended up passing away by himself in an old folks' home without his son there. His son didn't even go to the funeral. He was trying to exploit his father. And you weren't true to any oath.
Anybody that didn't take that oath, you could have been a doctor, a lawyer, the president of the United States. We consider them a sucker. That was the word. You don't take the oath, you're a sucker.
If you take the oath and you betray it, you know what that makes you, Michael? I'm going to show you what it makes you. A fucking rat. If you take that oath, you're supposed to fucking ride it till the wheels fall off. You took that oath. Nobody else made you do it. So why do you try to put it on other people? Because you broke the oath.
We had a bond between us. There was information that we shared that we weren't allowed to share with anybody else. I had guys in my crew that I was very close to. I wouldn't share privileged information among made guys with them because I couldn't, and I wouldn't violate my oath in that point. So guys that talk about made guys, most of them are full of baloney because they don't know the real story. They're on the outside looking in, and they want to be relevant. They want to be tough guys, and so they mention things like this.
But you're not a made guy. You're a cooperator. Once you cooperate, all that shit goes out the window. You act like you still have some type of oath to uphold and some type of image. like you have honor or something like that. Your honor was gone a long time ago, Michael. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows you're a cooperator. Everyone knows you told on this guy. They all know that you told on Al Sharpton and the fucking boxing commission and all this other shit. The paperwork's out there, Michael. You did 5 years in Florida prison. You were supposed to do 10, but you went up to Chicago, testified your ass off, and you walked. That's the fucking truth. I believe your father thought you were a fucking rat too.
You know, but I've been dealing with that all my life. It really doesn't bother me. I'll be honest with you, Billy.
Well, after we put out that interview, you gave us an offer we can't refuse.
Yeah.
And you offered to do a joint interview with the two of you.
I did.
You and Orie. And we reached out to Orie about that, and he turned us down.
Of course, because he was absolutely, whatever he said, he could never say in front of me because he has to be lying if he mentioned anything. I don't know the guy. Honestly, I just chased him.
Yeah, I mean, we even offered to have armed security in the studio in case anyone felt uncomfortable or whatever else. And yeah, he turned us down. So
the reason Orie turned them down and doesn't want to be on the screen with him is because he's a rat. And he doesn't want to share a screen with a rat. And I totally understand. Some people, they just don't want any association with people who cooperated in that life. Some people hold different degrees of the shit, you know? I'm an interviewer. I'm not a gangster. I'm not a street guy. None of that shit. I'm interviewing people, you know? I'm covering different stories. So they can think whatever they want about me. I don't give a shit. What's going on, lying informants and their enablers? How are you? Emerald, what's up? Go subscribe to Lying Informants and Their Enablers. You've got some great content. James, what's going on? Imagine get the rat tag for a measly 5 years off. It's crazy, man. Nikki the Barber, what's going on, man? Things are great. I believe Hard Truth and Reviews. Go subscribe to Hard Truth and Reviews. My boy Loomis. Shout out to Loomis. Roy, what's going on? I'm pretty sure Joey Merlino and them are in New York City for the next couple days. Who knows? I might pop up and see them out there. Said they're going to be at Rayo's tomorrow night, so who knows? You might see Staxx pop up.
Of course.
That would have been a hell of an interview.
It wouldn't have lasted too long, Bad. Let me tell you, because I guarantee he'd either run out the door or I would have made him look so foolish. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. But again, guys want to be relevant, so they mention the names of people. How many guys mention John Gotti's name? Because they want to be relevant. If they don't mention John Gotti's name, who's going to pay attention to them? You know, I like John. I mean, we got along. He was difficult to do business with, you know, I gotta be honest. But on a social level, great. You know, I had a lot of fun. We'd go out to a club. You know, he was a lot of fun to be around. And, you know, I respected John a lot. I mean.
So he says he respected John a lot. He respects him, right? And he loves the family. So watch what comes next.
He was, you know, he was a guy that commanded respect. He was different in a way, but, you know, I like him. I like his family. You know, I'm friendly with them, so. And let me tell you about Sammy Gravano. He's my friend, like it or not. I'm not interested in what he did before. I like Sammy now. I like his family. And I don't care who knows it or who disagrees with it. That's how I feel. Whatever happened before. None of my business. Didn't involve me. And that's it.
Sammy put Gotti away for the rest of his life, and he died in prison. And Michael's okay with that? You know why, right? Because he's the same as Sammy. He's a fucking rat. He can't admit it. Shout out to OG Mike on Hard Truth and Reviews. I saw OG Mike's video, I think it was this morning. He was in a graveyard in Texas, right? With the heads were knocked off the statues. Really crazy shit. Yo, if you guys want to see me go to New York, I need some donations. I need some cha-ching because, you know, Staxx is running on E. Especially we got this toy drive coming up and we're trying to make Christmas good for these kids. And I'm going to make it happen regardless. So if you guys want to donate towards the toy drive, you can hit up the Cash App. It's Chattin with Staxx. And even $1 goes a long way. You guys are incredible. I appreciate all you guys. Let's get to this. Let's finish up this one.
Doesn't prop me up. It doesn't make me feel good. Doesn't do anything for me. So let me just leave you with this, Joey. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Okay? I'm not impressed with you. I'm not interested in your talk. But let me tell you something. Before you make remarks about my father, know what you're talking about. Really. Because if you still are on the street, there's going to be people that are pretty much offended by that. Nobody can say a disparaging word about my father as far as him being a stand-up guy.
Well, you can say this. He had a rat son. 2 of them. Do you agree with me, Michael?
And let me respond again. If my father was close to me afterwards, and he was, despite all the nonsense that's going on out there, then maybe he knows something that you and everybody else don't. Maybe the Colombo Brass, yeah, my former family, maybe they knew something about what I did or didn't do that you don't.
So you're saying that they agreed with you cooperating. You're saying they're cool with you being a fucking rat, which is totally untrue. He is trying to manipulate all of you to make himself look good. He took Joey Merlino's words and spun them. Joey never called Sonny a rat. He said, if he supported anything that your rat ass did, then he's just as bad as you. And I agree with him 100%. Bill, amazing work on all the MMA. Hey, I got a surprise for you guys today. So I got another interview dropping probably tomorrow or something. But here, I'll give you a little hint on who it is.
Hey, what's up? Christine Faria, 125-pound bare knuckle champion. I'm chatting with Staxx.
Hey, we got that interview dropping this week, so stay tuned. And don't forget, we got part 3 of this one dropping today.
Hey, Stitch Duran here. How you guys doing? Listen, I'm chatting here with Staxx. If you guys want to hear stories, I got stories like nobody else. A couple weeks later, he comes back, he has tattoos.
What did you think when he comes back? He's got this massive tattoo on his face. What are your thoughts? Hey, and we got one more. We got this one dropping tonight at 10 p.m.
What's up, everybody? This is Randy Couture, and I'm chatting with Staxx.
A lot of really good, exciting things on the way, and you guys are along for the ride. I appreciate all you guys. You guys are the best. I really appreciate you. Do you hear him? My former family and I disgrace. My former family I disgrace. Like how are they supposed to deal with someone in the family who does what this guy did? Like how do they deal with him? I know how they would have dealt with him in the past, but how do they deal with him? Probably get one of them kiddie pools and do what your father said, right, Michael? That's probably how they would have dealt with you. But anyway, here, let's get the rest of this video done, and then I'll be out.
The rest of the world don't, and I don't have to tell anybody. It's nobody's business what went on between me and my father and the brass in the Colombo family during that time.
So he's saying that they agreed with him being a cooperator. That's exactly what he's saying.
I'm going to leave it at that. So you do what you want with this, Joey. Do whatever you want. You know what? I don't like to make, and I don't try to make enemies, and I'm not going to consider you my enemy. You can consider me whatever you want. But I'm going to answer to this the first time I ever responded to anything like this, because you don't go off and say things about my father that are absolutely untrue. And once again, I'll say it and I'll leave it with this. I'll leave you with this.
And Michael is a master manipulator. He did not call Sonny a rat. He said if he agreed with what you did, he's just as bad as your rat ass self. And I agree with him. If he agreed with what you did, he's just as bad as you. So, I mean, if you can't take the heat, get the fuck out the kitchen, Michael. You're a rat, and you'll always be a rat. But anyway, go check out the reality report with Craig Gatto. Said he got a live at 2. And I appreciate all you guys. If you guys want to help out the toy drive, just hit up Cash App, Chatting with Staxx, or you can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Sticker, Super Chats, all that good stuff. And tomorrow, we're going to take care of these clowns.
I mean, people hound us in the comments with Sammy this, Sammy, get Sammy. And I think people really want to hear your take on, what he's doing today. I know he has a brand new podcast that he's starting. He puts a lot of great videos up, and I'll let you kind of talk about that.
Hey, don't worry. We're going to handle that because flip-flopping at the highest degree. But I appreciate all you guys. Hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. And if you don't like this show, start your own podcast. And remember, don't be a bitch.